It's here, viewer, it's here at last. The Capcom Fighting Collection Part 2 is finally here, to the delight of all the autismos across the land, including me. Modern man can finally experience all of these lovely Dreamcast games.
In the 19th century, people are strong believers of superstition and legend. Adventurers seek the world for fortune, glory, and a legendary treasure which has the power to make dreams come true. That treasure is known as the Power Stone.
Yeah, good voice acting. They just got some Chinese guy. Look, viewer, secret character, scary pirate Waluigi. They don't expect you to unlock any of these, they just give it all up front. That really seems to be a recurring theme with these re-releases. All of the stuff is right there up front. You'll love to see it. But yes, modern man can finally play Power Stone again. We don't have to settle for that crappy Billy and Mandy tie-in game that had Power Stone style gameplay. Yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. Look it up if you don't believe me. So yes, there are many things you can do in Power Stone. You can pick up and throw chairs. You can throw fireballs. You can do it all. In Nigeria, you can pick up a chair and throw it at a man. Yes, indeedy. So yeah, I had the original Power Stone for the Dreamcast many years ago. And people were quite impressed. I would invite all of my friends over to show them my cool and interesting Dreamcast games, and they would be floored. We'd look at this, we'd look at Choo Choo Rocket, we'd look at Space Channel 5, we'd look at Typing of the Dead. Usually not Shenmue though, because that takes too much time to get into. The impressive nature of Shenmue is a bit more passive, it doesn't come on right away. But yes, people couldn't believe all of these cool games they had never heard of. I was the coolest guy in my town. Well, maybe that's a bit of a stretch. But to a group of maybe like 3 or 4 people, I was a rad guy who knew about all the best video games. Sure, I wasn't like traditionally cool. I wasn't like the star football player with lots of big muscles who was shagging all the cheerleaders. Not that kind of cool, but I owns a Dreamcast in 2012 cool, and that's good in its own right. Yeah. You think this character would be offensive to certain crowds? Not our character, but the guy we're fighting. I'm just thinking Mr. Game & Watch had like a Native American feather in Smash Bros, and they had to take it out. What do I know? Remember Review Tech USA made a video like escalating that controversy way worse than it had to. So he'd had like a picture of the Smash Bros cover art and says, Smash Bros is racist apparently. It's like there's just like this formula where like dumb person 1 says something dumb, and then dumb person 2 escalates the situation by pushing dumb person 1's opinion out to millions of people. Well, maybe not millions, Review Tech USA's not that popular. But you're just giving oxygen to opinions you don't like and allowing them to flourish by talking about them in front of your audience, and you're really just kinda, escalating the problem. Social politics. So anyway, here's an observation I have on the differences between the remake and the original. So, I guess obviously since the original would have been on a CRT, the details would have been a bit harder to discern. Everything's crystal clear now in high definition. I'm noticing now with our character, when she goes into the powered up state from having the 3 gems, her alternative costume, there seem to be tassels on her boobs, I noticed. It's like, were those always there? Wow, that was right in front of me this whole time and I had no idea. Although it is in the concept art too, so I guess that one's on me for not noticing. As a certified boob enjoyer, I'm very disappointed in myself for not catching that. You see, I got an achievement for blowing off the doors over there. You were only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. Yeah. Anywho, so pretty much everybody else on YouTube is also playing this collection right now, which kinda makes me look like a bit of a dirty trend chaser, but no, I'm doing this all on my own volition, you see. I'm not playing this just because some soy-faced idiot is also playing this. I'm doing this because I want to. Rest assured. This game is something of a love letter to Dreamcast fans, and that includes me. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge this. I had a Dreamcast. One might say I'm something of a Dreamcast guy. Ding. What did he do there? He just made the dinging noise with his mouth instead of editing it in? Anyway, there's lots of fun items in here as well, if I haven't pointed that out. Look, we got a bazooka. If you can get that hammer and hit the other guy with it at the right angle, it does sort of a Tom and Jerry-esque, like a squish of the other player, you'll flatten them. That's kinda neat, I guess. I don't know. Remember that crappy Tom and Jerry movie from the 90s where they could talk? Not just like in little short bursts either, just full-on sentences. Hello there, my name is Jerry the Mouse. I like to take long walks on the beach, and my last name is Weinstein, and I'm late on my taxes. And yeah, you get the idea. What an awful idea for a movie. Although it did give us that one meme where the villain says, "We've got to have money." It's a lot funnier when he did it, but at least it's not a total loss. It gave us that entertaining Nostalgia Critic review as well. Yeah, at least two good things came out of the 90s Tom and Jerry movie. And that cannot be said for the new one with Chloe Grace Moretz in it. I don't think there's gonna be any kind of broader pop cultural contribution from the 2020s Tom and Jerry movie. These are the things my silly mind thinks about. So all of the locations in this game, by the way, are also supposed to be based on real-world places. That was probably kinda obvious, but I thought I'd just mention it anyway. The bar is so low for your average person, you gotta spell it all out. I had an uncle once who didn't know what sunscreen was. That's how low the bar is. But anyway, yeah, these are supposed to be real places, and they just changed the names up slightly. Like, they've got a level that's supposed to be Baghdad, and they just call it My Dad instead. And this one, it's supposed to be London, Ontario, Canada. They just changed it to Londo. They just took the N out. Yeah, it's just the strange things video games would do. It's not like names of cities are copyrighted. But for some reason they had to change it. Speaking of Londo, kind of an odd story. You know, when Marie Kondo was like a big thing a couple of years ago, my parents got into that sort of thing, and I guess they're not used to pronouncing anything Japanese, so they just got it completely wrong. They kept calling her Marie Klondo. It's like, yeah, just a bunch of crusty old boomers interfacing with the modern world. It sounded like a much funnier story in my head, to be honest. Yeah, since we haven't adequately met the comedy quota for this episode, I'm just gonna start repeating things I heard on TV. Okay, here we go. So the other day I was talking to this guy and he had to give me a phone number, and I said to him, "Okay, Hank, give me the number." And apparently he never figured out the unspoken rule that when you tell somebody a phone number, there's a certain rhythm you have to do. It goes bum bum ba, bum bum ba, bum ba. This guy never heard that. He was all, yeah, it's 2129 858 71382081. Like, what an idiot. However it goes. Can you tell where I stole that line from? That wasn't an original story. Well, I already prefaced it with that. Do any of you media enthusiasts know who I'm ripping off? What else? Well, speaking of media enthusiasts, I've been working on my Criterion collection movies still. I got Sorcerers pre-ordered. I've never seen that one. Looks pretty good from the trailer. The premise is four guys have a big truck that's full of explosives, and they have to smuggle it through the jungles of South America. And obviously they have to drive the truck very carefully, because if they're too rough with it, it'll blow up. Apparently, people really overlooked that one when it came out in theaters back in the day, because it was just very unfortunately timed that it came out in theaters right around the same time as the original Star Wars. And so everybody missed it. Look at this, we're gonna do a super finish. We're gonna finish while still powered up. Look at those tassels bouncing. This is a good episode now.